She thought she had rescued a tiny kitten until the day it roared and she screamed. Mia had always loved cats. When she found an old stray wandering the alleys of her small town, she couldn't help but take it in. The cat, with its wise, worn eyes and gentle purr, quickly became her constant companion. But one chilly autumn night, while searching the neighborhood for another stray in need, Mia discovered a tiny, abandoned kitten huddled beneath a rusted car. Its fur was a striking shade of orange, and its eyes shone with a wild intensity that Mia found both curious and endearing. Thinking it was just another vulnerable cat, she scooped the little creature into her arms and brought it home, placing it gently with her beloved stray. For the first few weeks, everything seemed normal. The newcomer, which Mia affectionately named Leo, behaved like a playful kitten. He curled up next to her on cold nights, chased after toy mice, and even shared a meal with her old stray, Luna, who had been a calming presence in Mia's life for years. But as time passed, subtle differences began to emerge. Leo's growth was rapid, his playful antics grew bolder, his leaps more powerful, and his appetite far exceeded that of any ordinary house cat. At first, Mia dismissed these oddities as signs of an unusually robust kitten. She marveled at his energy and the striking beauty of his striped coat. Yet, as months went by, it became impossible to ignore the evidence. Leo's size began to outpace that of any typical house cat, and he displayed a strength that was far beyond his small frame. His behavior, too, shifted. Instead of the coy, soft purrs of a domestic cat, his growls carried a wild, resonant depth that hinted at something much more formidable. One crisp winter evening, as the snow gently fell outside, Luna, Mia's old stray, passed away peacefully in her sleep. Her loss was a quiet sorrow, a soft goodbye that Mia felt deep within her heart. In the days that followed, the void left by Luna's departure weighed heavily on Mia. Yet, amidst her grief, Leo remained a constant, enigmatic presence. His eyes, filled with a wild glimmer, seemed to hold secrets he was determined to keep. Neighbors began to take notice. At first, it was the whispers, murmurs about an unusual cat roaming the streets, strange noises coming from Mia's home late at night, and a growing unease that something wasn't right. As Leo continued to grow, his presence became impossible to ignore. His daily escapades, leaping effortlessly onto high fences, his powerful frame visible as he prowled the yard, caused alarm. One day, a neighbor's child accidentally locked eyes with Leo as he passed by, and the wild intensity in the animal's gaze sent shivers down the child's spine. Soon, complaints began to flood in. City officials and local authorities started questioning Mia. "It's just a cat, isn't it?" they asked, their voices laced with skepticism. "How can a house cat be so large and strong? You need to do something before it poses a danger." Mia tried to explain that Leo was her pet, that she had adopted him just like any other stray. But deep down, she too began to wonder about the creature's true nature. The signs were undeniable. His behavior was erratic at times. He would suddenly burst into a powerful sprint across the yard, or let out a feral roar that echoed in the quiet streets. Mia was both bewildered and frightened by what she was witnessing. Late one night, unable to sleep, Mia sat by her window watching Leo in the yard. The moon cast an eerie glow over his sleek form as he padded silently along the fence. It was then that she noticed something astonishing, a flash of orange and black that was not quite feline. It was as if, in the darkness, the outlines of a much larger animal were visible in Leo's shadow. Her heart pounded as the realization began to dawn on her. Her beloved kitten was not an ordinary house cat. In the following days, the mystery deepened. Mia started researching fur patterns and behaviors, and every piece of evidence led her to a shocking possibility. Leo was not a domestic cat at all. He was a tiger cub. The more she learned, the more everything made sense. His rapid growth, his powerful build, his wild, resonant roars, all were characteristics of a tiger, not a house cat. The truth hit her like a tidal wave. How had this been possible? How could she have adopted a tiger cub, mistaking it for a stray kitten? The answer was as baffling as it was extraordinary. It turned out that when Mia had rescued Leo, he had been abandoned along with another stray cat, Luna. The two had been left together, and the little cub, so perfectly hidden among the kittens, had slipped through the cracks of fate. The shelter where Mia had taken them was overwhelmed, and in the chaos, Leo's true identity had gone unnoticed. The realization came slowly, but with undeniable clarity. Mia's heart raced as she pieced together the puzzle, the unusual strength, the mysterious behavior, the wild eyes. It all pointed to the fact that Leo was a tiger, a creature of the wild, not meant for domestic life. But over the years, she had grown to love him as her own. Despite the danger, the mystery, and the mounting pressure from the neighbors and authorities, Mia decided she would keep Leo. She had raised him as her pet, nurtured him from a tiny cub, and he had become a part of her life, her family. Yet keeping a wild animal was not without consequences. Soon the complaints became impossible to ignore. The local community grew increasingly restless. Rumors spread like wildfire. One day, a group of neighbors, fearful for their children and pets, gathered outside her house demanding that she do something about the wild cat roaming the streets. City officials visited, issuing stern warnings and threatening fines if she did not surrender the animal. The tension escalated, and Mia found herself caught in a maelstrom of conflicting emotions: love for Leo, guilt over keeping such a creature confined, and a deep-seated understanding that perhaps she was holding on to something that was never meant to be domesticated. For weeks, Mia tried to balance her life with Leo. She built a larger, more secure enclosure in her backyard, hoping to provide him with enough space to roam while keeping him safely contained. She sought advice from experts on exotic pets, only to learn that what she had was not only illegal but also dangerous for both Leo and the people around him. The mystery of Leo's origins weighed heavily on her mind. Each day, as Leo grew larger and more independent, the question of what his life was meant to be became more pressing. One rainy afternoon, while Leo lounged lazily in the sunlit corner of his new enclosure, Mia sat with her laptop, scouring through articles and records about animal rescues and tiger cubs. Every new piece of information made her heart ache with both wonder and dread. It was clear Leo was not a house cat. He was a tiger, a symbol of untamed wilderness and raw power. And no amount of enclosure, no matter how secure, could change that. The final blow came when local authorities, emboldened by mounting complaints, decided that they had no choice but to intervene. A notice was served to Mia stating that she must surrender Leo to the local wildlife authorities within 72 hours or face severe legal consequences. The decision left her heartbroken. Leo had become more than just a pet. He was her family, her friend, a living reminder of a miraculous rescue and the transformative power of compassion. Mia struggled with the decision. Every moment with Leo was bittersweet. She loved him deeply, yet she knew that he was meant for the wild. As the deadline approached, her heart ached with the inevitability of parting with him. In secret, she began preparing for the day of farewell, collecting memories in the form of photos and handwritten notes, and spending every spare moment with Leo in the quiet sanctuary of their home. Then, on the eve of the deadline, something extraordinary happened. That same cool, crisp night when the wind whispered secrets through the trees, Mia woke to a soft, insistent mewing from outside her window. Rushing to the door, she found Leo pacing in the moonlight, his eyes wide and alert. He seemed restless, almost agitated, as if he sensed that something significant was about to happen. Mia followed him out into the yard, her heart pounding with anticipation and dread. As they approached the back gate, Leo suddenly stopped and looked toward a familiar path leading into the dense jungle. His eyes, usually so wild and fierce, now held a look of gentle determination. Mia followed, her heart heavy with conflicting emotions, love, sorrow, and the painful realization that the wild was calling him home. Fighting back tears, Mia knelt beside him and gently placed her hand on his broad chest. "You were never meant to be caged, Leo," she whispered, her voice trembling with both sorrow and pride. "Your true home is out there, in the wild." For a long moment, Leo gazed at her, his eyes soft yet filled with a wordless farewell. Then, as if reconsidering, he paused at the edge of the clearing. A gentle rustle in the underbrush signaled his return. Slowly, almost hesitantly, Leo retraced his steps back toward Mia. The wild, it seemed, was calling him, yet tonight he chose to return. Mia's heart leapt as Leo approached once again. His eyes, glistening in the moonlight, spoke of a deep, unspoken bond, a promise that despite the pull of the wild, he still belonged with her, even if only for a little while longer. With a trembling smile, Mia reached out and stroked his striped fur, feeling the warmth and strength of the creature she had come to love. "Come with me," she murmured softly. Together they began the journey back along the moonlit path. The night air was cool, and the gentle symphony of the jungle accompanied them as they retraced their steps. The path home was quiet and serene, the soft glow of dawn gradually replacing the silver light of the moon. Arriving at her modest house, Mia carefully opened the door and led Leo inside. Though his immense form filled the small living space, he moved with a calm dignity that brought both wonder and bitter-sweet relief. Neighbors might later whisper about a wild tiger living under Mia's roof, but in that intimate moment, it was just the two of them, bound by a story of unexpected miracles and impossible choices. Mia settled on the worn sofa with Leo at her feet, gently caressing his fur as she recalled every twist and turn of their strange journey. The next morning, under a sky painted with the first light of dawn, local authorities arrived to enforce the order that Mia must surrender Leo. With a heavy heart, Mia knew there was no choice but to let him go. She gathered a few treasured belongings, photos, letters, memories, and prepared for the inevitable farewell. Neighbors, who had long complained about the presence of a wild animal in their midst, watched with a mixture of curiosity and relief as Mia led Leo toward the jungle's edge. In a quiet clearing near the boundary of the reserve, beneath ancient trees and the gentle murmur of a nearby stream, Mia knelt beside Leo. The tiger cub, now a magnificent tiger, sat calmly, his eyes reflecting a wild freedom that no enclosure could contain. As the moment of parting grew near, Mia's heart broke a little with every beat. She caressed Leo's striped fur, remembering the playful creature she once mistook for a kitten, the wild spark in his eyes, and the transformation that had taken place over the years. With trembling lips, Mia spoke softly. "I must let you go, my dear. You were always meant for the wild." Leo's eyes, as if understanding every word, softened. In a final, poignant gesture, he gently licked her hand, a silent goodbye and a promise that the bond they shared would endure, even across the vast distance between captivity and freedom. The exchange was brief, yet overwhelming, a culmination of years of mystery, growth, and emotional transformation. Neighbors and local authorities, though relieved to see the wild spirit released, could sense the deep sorrow in Mia's eyes. The jungle swallowed Leo's powerful form as he disappeared into the dense foliage, his mighty roars echoing in the distance, a farewell to the life he had known and a welcome to the untamed freedom of the wild. Mia returned home that day with a heavy heart and a soul forever marked by the mystery of what she had raised. The tale of the tiger that had once been a kitten spread quickly through the community, a story of mistaken identity, transformation, and the unyielding call of the wild. Though neighbors still whispered about the dangers of keeping such a creature, Mia knew deep within that Leo belonged only to the jungle. In the following weeks, as the seasons changed and life moved forward, Mia dedicated herself to honoring Leo's legacy. She became an advocate for wildlife preservation, sharing her story with anyone who would listen, urging them to respect the wild and the creatures that dwelled within it. The experience had taught her that hope, once nurtured, was too precious to be confined, and that the bonds between man and nature could never be broken, even by error. On the final day of her life, as Mia grew old and her strength waned, she made a last pilgrimage to the very spot where she had said goodbye to Leo. Under a sky streaked with the colors of dawn, she sat quietly in a clearing near the jungle's edge. There, amidst the soft rustle of leaves and the distant calls of wild animals, she looked out over the land that had once given her so much hope. With a tender smile and eyes filled with memories, she whispered a final vow. May all those who dare to dream of a wild, free life never forget the power of hope. As you listen to this tale, remember that sometimes the most incredible transformations come from the simplest acts of kindness. The story of Mia and Leo is a testament to the enduring magic of nature, the mysteries that lie hidden in plain sight, and the wild spirit that refuses to be tamed. If you found this story moving and inspiring, please like and subscribe. Your support helps spread the message of hope, transformation, and respect for the untamed world around us. If you found this tale moving and inspiring, please like and subscribe. Your support helps keep the spirit of hope and conservation alive. Thank you for listening, and may you always carry hope in your heart.